Hi, this is Nicole for DJ Mag Indonesia, and we're here at the ADE in Amsterdam. Today I'm with Brennan Heart. Hi Brennan, welcome. Could you give us a quick bio about yourself?
First of all, hi to you all. I must say you hear the music in the back, so I'm gonna try to explain my bio and answer your questions. To give you an idea, my name is Brennan Heart. Maybe some of you know me from tracks like Lose My Mind, Imaginary, Fit In for Golf. It's like what I try to do. People know me as Hardstyle. It's like a harder EDM genre, combined many times with vocals, melodies, trance influences, dubstep influences, like all kind of things you can imagine. So it's really hard to describe. I think hardstyle, you have to experience the whole thing live in like live at a night, like somewhere like tonight, or a big party like Climax or Hard Bass. I think the people who are a big fan of the music, they know what the music is all about.
You love to mix different kind of sounds in your hardstyle.
Yeah, that's what I do as well. Of course, in a lot of genres, in EDM they mix pop genres and everything, like even country, like Avicii. But hardstyle is well known for all the kind of influences you can think of. It's crazy. So I must say we can talk a lot about the music by itself, but it's something you have to experience like live.
Could you explain to Indonesian people what hardstyle is?
Well, hardstyle, I think all of you are familiar with EDM. On hardstyle it's 150 BPM, EDM is 130 BPM, so it's a little bit quicker. And the kick, it's pretty much like, there's a really strong drive. It's a little bit more aggressive, but more energetic. So, and I think the first time when you hear the music, you will feel it's a different energy. And most people, especially in Asia, the first time when they hear it, they're like, bam, they're in love with it. So I have to say, like, it's EDM, but in my opinion, it's better.
And where do you get your ideas from for making hardstyle?
Yeah, my ideas, they come from everything. Like, for example, when I watch a movie, and when I see a new movie score by Hans Zimmer, or when I listen to pop music, when I hear the new Coldplay song, for example, sometimes I have something like, oh, this chord progression, I love it. Or when I hear a cool rap song, I notice like, this could be something cool to do in a hardstyle track. So it can be anything, you know, anything can be inspiration. For example, Fit In for Golf, it's a track literally where I explain to the people like, or you feel the music, and if you don't feel it, just leave me alone in my own world, let me enjoy, and otherwise like back off. That's literally, like sometimes little things can be inspiration for a whole track.
Of course, ook a lot of emotion, I think.
Emotion as well. It's I think my music, I try to combine, like a few years ago, I did a big show in Holland in a Gelredome for over 30,000 people with a live orchestra with 30 people. So to give you an idea, it's also energetic music, but also wrote like a complete score with the orchestra, and we decided to play the whole track live on a night. So people with a violin and a cello, and it was crazy. So it's completely the opposite of what you expect with EDM. And I was always trying to combine classical influences, pop influences, but also from rap. Like, yeah, it's a really diverse kind of genre, to be honest.
Is hardstyle an original Dutch product?
Well, I have to say yes, because I'm Dutch. But I believe it's a kind of a mixture between hard trance and hardcore gabber from back in the days. Also with UK hard, and that kind of thing kind of evolved into something new, which is hardstyle. And 10 years ago, there was a pretty simple hardstyle with a kick and a bass. I think the real fans know where I'm talking about. Later on, melodies became popular when Headhunters started to do hardstyle. I started to do hardstyle like 10 years ago with a group of pioneers, and they were still in the industry, like Wild Stars, Noise Controllers, Headhunters. He's making EDM recently, but with a few people we started this, and we noticed like when you have this euphoric melody, like sometimes it's a little bit trancey, then it's more uplifting, and if you combine this with this typical hardstyle kick, it became something completely new. And we noticed like 30,000 and 60,000 people sometimes on big stadiums went completely crazy, and then we found out like this is unique, and the whole scene kind of grew out of nowhere.
What other styles are you listening to when you're not producing hardstyle?
Wow, yeah, from pop music, one of my friends, he's playing in a band called Rhythm Temptation. It's like a gothic metal kind of thingy, which is also really film kind of score influences. I like, I'm a big fan of Coldplay, which is pretty cliche, I think. But I must say Chris Martin is, yeah, I really like his compositions. I also like EDM, a lot of different genres in there. I must say there's not literally like one thing I just stick to. I always listen to a lot of different genres, and I think you have to be open-minded to be creative. So
yeah, you should.
Yeah, that's why I'm open to anything.
What is the most important thing when you're looking for in a track, when you want to release it on your record label, We Are?
Goosebumps. It has to have this X-Factor goosebump thingy. When you hear a track, I always imagine when I'm on the dance floor and when I play the track, it has to do something, this excitement feeling like, oh yes, fuck, I want to play this track on the dance floor and I want to see all those people go crazy. Doesn't matter if it's for a small club or a big audience, but sometimes you hear a track on and you know it does something with you. You can't explain what it is, but it's this particular feeling. And I only release music on We Are that has this particular X-Factor.
And do you listen to all your tracks yourself, or do you have a complete team helping you with We Are?
We have, of course, have people helping with contracts and stuff, but the A&R section is something I do by myself. And Code Black is also one of the founders of the very first day. Every time when we got a track, we listen together like, oh, do we like this? Do we want to release it? Yes or no? So, yes, I do it myself, a lot of A&R work. I have a lot of guys when I'm on the road, they say, hey, Fabian, I have a new track, you should listen. I think it's really important for the label, and it's like a We Are DNA kind of thing. That's important to get a quality, like a certain quality.
Do you consider Hardstyle as an underdog in the dance scene?
I don't know. I had the same sort of interview lately with a newspaper about this question. It's funny. I don't think we're like an underdog. I think it's good. Like a lot of big DJs in the DJ Mag top 10. They're really well known because they played on the radio. Look at David Guetta. You know, he's a genius. I don't say I think he's a really good DJ and a good producer, and he has a great team behind him. But it's completely different. Our scene is more, in a certain way, like underground. We're not played on the radio often, and I think that makes the scene unique as well. So, in my opinion, maybe some people feel we're the kind of underdog, but I'm happy with this position. I think the scene stays longer fresh, because like there's a long-term way how you can make music.
Yeah, and also the hardstyle scene has a really dedicated fan base.
Yeah, really dedicated. People are sometimes following us, flying. Some people literally fly around the world. I see them like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I saw someone in Japan. They came over to Europe and they fly like it's crazy. And even in Europe, I have people that fly from Germany to France to Holland, like crazy for the same shows. It's crazy.
You do shows all over the world. Do you ever go to Indonesia?
No, I didn't play in Indonesia yet. I went to Bali for last year for a month. Exactly a year ago, I came back from Bali, like today. And I said to my tour manager, join me, and I said, man, I have to play in Indonesia. The people are so friendly and the best. And I said, how would the scene would be over here? And I see a lot of trance guys playing in Indonesia. I think trance is quite popular in Indonesia. And we got a request like a few months ago for Indonesia, but it didn't happen yet. So I hope in 2016, and maybe this interview, but maybe I hope we can plan and schedule it in the tour schedule. It would be awesome to play there.
Is there any Indonesian food that you like?
Yeah. I forgot the title. But you just told me, remember me again.
Brennan Heart really likes rendang.
No, but also I must say I spent like 4 weeks in Indonesia, and I didn't expect it, but I literally eat and I like everything in the kitchen in Indonesia. It's crazy how I love the food. Only for the food itself I would fly back, really.
And also for the people, they're really friendly.
Of course, that's in the first place. It's not about food, you get it.
Anything you want to say to the Indonesian fans?
Well, I'm really honored that you guys, sometimes get messages and questions like, do you want to play in Indonesia? I'm really honored for all the people in Indonesia who are already so dedicated in hardstyle. I hope to see you in 2016 at one of my shows, maybe in Indonesia, maybe in Europe. So until then, see you. Bye.
This was Nicole for DJ Mag Indonesia with Brennan Heart. He hopes to come back soon to Indonesia. Bye.